Alright guys, so we came down the trail here, and honestly I found a nice little sweet spot right here. Alright guys, so I got it all set up here. It's definitely going to need some fine tuning just on the tent portion, but I'll show y'all what I got going on. All that's going in here. Hey, it's just going to be good though. So I got some meat, zucchini, carrots, and some rice on there. I'm going to give it a try, not to hopefully burn my tongue, but what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Kappelle Outdoor video. And I will say it's been feels like it's been a long time since I've done a video, but I'll get to that later on. So I'm out here on a familiar stretch of trail. I want to test out this summertime shelter that I had brewing in my mind for the past few weeks. So decided to load up the bag with the shelter stuff, and I'm also gonna cook some good food out here. So we're gonna hike down to the area, and then we're gonna get set up on the shelter and see how well it performs. Now this is just kind of like a setup video, so I just want to go out here and set it up. It's not going to be actually testing it. Guys, it is a gorgeous day out here in Georgia. We had a good bit of rain the other day, and as you can see, we got a few dark clouds up in front, as well as some behind us here. So did bring the tarp out here, which is a good thing. And but I don't really mind. It kind of blocks most of the sun out, kind of keeps it cooled down just a little bit. But as well, there's a nice breeze kicking up through here, so it feels really nice to be out here today. Alright guys, so we came down the trail here, and honestly I found a nice little sweet spot right here. Maybe we could set up right here. Just gonna have to clear out a little bit of the debris. I got 2 trees to string up the tarp, and yeah, we'll give that a try. Alright guys, so got an area cleaned up. However, I'm not going to film the process of me setting this up because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it yet. Alright guys, so I got it all set up here. It's definitely going to need some fine tuning just on the tent portion, but I'll show y'all what I got going on. So this right here is my tarp right here. This is my old tarp that I used to hammock camp with. And then obviously y'all know the Lanshan. The Lanshan is a double wall tent, so I just took the one wall off and left the inner mesh on. Alright, so first of all, let's talk about the tarp here. I loop on one end and I ran a toggle through it. And then I got some prusik knots here to keep the tension of the tarp. Now y'all see that I have my ridge line running up underneath the tarp, and that's so I can secure the top of the Lanshan. So this tarp configuration, I got it set up right now, it's kind of like a flying A-frame, but on one side it's kind of like a porch mode. So use my trekking poles to put up one end higher, And if I need to, I can put the other end up higher. And I got all these trekking poles and everything with taut line. There you can see the Lanshan, the single wall. Now, if you're not familiar with double walls or single wall tents, what it is one wall is pretty much the rain fly, and the second wall, or the first wall, however you look at it, is pretty much like the mesh. So you can see here, you got the bottom right here, and then you have the mesh portion attached to the bottom. So you cannot separate that, not unless you cut it, but I don't know why you would want to do that. So I left that on there, obviously, and I took the rain fly off. It's over here. My idea with this kind of shelter situation is, well, one of two things. So if y'all are familiar with the Lanshan tent, it's got one doors on both sides, and it's really hard to get ventilation in there, not unless you put your doors like facing directly in the wind. But you can kind of see where I'm at here. We got like the access road right here, and we're surrounded by a bunch of pines on one side and then hardwoods on the other. So the breeze kind of, just gets whipped around here, coming from different directions and whatnot. So I wanted to be able to use the Lanshan tent, instead of just buying another tent that has better ventilation, which I'll probably do so later on. But for now, I'm just taking that single wall off and then adding a tarp on there. So it's kind of acting like, this whole system is kind of acting like one system right here. So I'll still get shade and cover from the rain, but since the tarp is a lot higher than the tent, any kind of breeze that goes in through here during the summertime, when I'm planning on camping, it just helps, keep me cool off. And I also have a fan and stuff in there too. But like I said, I got to get this thing dialed in, especially the tent part. It kind of looks ugly how I got it set up. But like I said, this is the first time that I've gotten it set up before. I think I'm going to pack the tent all up, and then we're going to break out the cooking stuff, and we're going to cook this delicious meal that I got planned. I don't know if y'all can tell, but it's hot out here. Alright, so on today's menu, I'm cooking some Korean bibimbap. Now, I know it could be difficult to say. Sometimes it's difficult for me to say. I've said it a few times just on the way out here, just so I don't steer y'all wrong. But what it is essentially, so you got a base layer, which is rice. And then pretty much after that, you got like a bunch of veggies of your choosing. So I brought squash. No, sorry, I brought zucchini, mushrooms, carrots, beef marinated in some Korean galbi marinade, and I think that's about it. Oh, spinach. I brought spinach too. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some water boiling here. Let's see if I can put y'all situated where y'all can see. So I'm just gonna get some water boiling. I want to get the rice going. Since that'll probably take the longest time to cook. And I also brought my little fan out here. Cooling off already. I got it modified to where I put a carabiner on the back side of it. That way I can hang it up like this, pointed directly at me. Alright guys, so I think the rice is about done. If I can manage to not burn myself. Just gonna set it on the plate and let it cool off for a little bit. Now in the professional Mario Kart bag, packed a bunch of cold items. So we got the red pepper paste sauce, or the gochujang sauce. And I kept a frozen water bottle in here to keep stuff cold. So shout out to Rob for that idea. And I think the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cook the meat here. So we're gonna put a little oil in there. Alright guys, so the meat is done. I cooked it just a little bit under, just because of the cut of meat that I used. I think this is like a stew meat, so it's going to be a little bit tougher. So I'm going to keep the juices in there, but I got mushrooms, zucchini, and carrots in there. That is going to go in here, and add a little bit more oil. And hopefully I can fit all this in this little pan here, but we're gonna try it out. Oh yeah. Perfect. Perfect. And I'm gonna let these veggies saute just a little bit. Once they get about, I would say 3/4 to my liking, I'm gonna add the spinach in there because the spinach is not gonna take long to cook. It's just gonna wilt down a little bit. So I'm going to put a little bit of pepper in there, and then a little bit of salt. Alright, so while that's going, I dumped the rice. I'm going to use this pot as my bowl because I need a pack of cappy bowl, is what I need. I'm going to take some of this gochujang, probably going to take all of it because, you know, why not? Just dump that right in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and get this stirred up a little bit. Just kind of looks something like that. And then once these veggies are done, I'm gonna dump those in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and dump the meat in there. But y'all can see the veggies are, well, lost a carrot, that's okay. Veggies are getting there. So at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and add my spinach in there. It's not gonna take long for this spinach to wilt down a little bit. But y'all just check that color out. The spinach, the zucchini, mushrooms, and carrots in there. We're gonna take these veggies and all that's going in here. What we're gonna do, since I've already put the gochujang in here, I got a little bit of sesame oil. And we're just gonna put the whole thing in there. And then we're just gonna give all this a very good mix. And already that sesame oil, it smells really good in here. Abby would consider it kind of like a bowl. I mean, it's a kind of a bowl, but hey, it's just gonna be good though. So I got some meat, zucchini, carrots, and some rice on there. I'm gonna give it a try. Not to hopefully burn my tongue, but wow. Guys, it needs more red pepper paste. just because I like it a little bit spicier. But honestly, you could put however much you want in it. If you want to try this dish but don't want to do the spiciness, I think you can honestly kind of totally leave it out and just mix it up like that. Or you can add however much you want, you know, build your tolerance up, whatever. But well, let's just say that didn't last. The one thing that I really want to do more than anything, lay down after a meal like that. Come out, meal like that sticks to your stomach, makes you not want to do anything. And just like that, nobody ever knew I was there. Well, maybe except for y'all, but I'm pretty sure y'all won't tell nobody, okay? Just shh. But yeah, man, this was a nice little setup area. Might honestly come back here and do some more camping. Well, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I've been posting videos almost every week. And I want to apologize to my viewers that this past month or so, I've been kind of slacking a little bit. Mainly because I recently got transferred to another department at my job. And they work totally different hours, still during the daytime, but it's just different hours, and sometimes it's 8 hours a day, sometimes it's 12, so just whatever they need. With that being said, I'm gonna try my best to post some videos. I think I might have to go to posting every other week, just until I can get my work life balanced out to a schedule that will work for me. And then once that happens or becomes available, then I'm going to try to post more frequently, so that way y'all still get content to enjoy. So I tell you what, man, it is beautiful out here. Go check this out. Well, guys, finally made it to the truck. It wasn't that long of a hike. I think it's probably at least about a mile or so. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed making it. Don't forget to check out the rest of my channel, and I'll see you on the next one.